Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we try to understand who is hiding what behind all those corporate reports. And believe me, this one has almost as many characters as a Shakespeare play, but a lot less romance and a lot more. Well, you'll see. Today we are diving deep into CytoDyn Incorporated's proxy statement. This is the really important document you get before a company shareholder meeting. It tells you what they want to vote on and why you should care, so let's get to the bottom of it all. And the first thing you should know if you like these kinds of breakdowns and want to make sure you get them regularly, make sure you are subscribed. Also, we have an amazing community that is super helpful breaking down these complex documents. It is linked in the description below, so go check that out after the video. So this filing is from CytoDyn Incorporated, a biopharmaceutical company. They are asking their shareholders to vote on a few key things at their annual meeting. First up, they want to elect 5 directors to their board. These are the people who are supposed to be guiding the company and making sure it is run well for you, the shareholders. The report lists out who these nominees are and gives you a little background on their experience. We have Tanya Durkee-Urbach, their board chair. She has a background in finance and legal advisory services. Then Therese Lishamois CNDH Lovu, a medical doctor and professor with expertise in immunology and infectious diseases. This is super relevant given the company's focus. Karen J. Brunker, another doctor with a ton of experience in biotech business development. Ryan M. Dunlap, who seems to be the finance guy, a chief financial officer with a lot of experience in the healthcare industry. And finally, Stephen M. Symes, who has a really extensive background as a CEO and director in various pharmaceutical companies. Looking at these nominees, they all seem to bring some pretty relevant experience to the table, especially with their backgrounds in science, finance, and the pharmaceutical industry. The company seems to be emphasizing independence in their board members, which is generally a good sign for good governance. They are all considered independent according to the NASDAQ rules. Next on the agenda, they are asking you to ratify their choice for an independent public accounting firm. This is basically asking, do you agree with who is checking the company, S Financial Books? For the fiscal year ending May 31, 2026, they have chosen CB CPAs PC. Interestingly, they mention that Markham LLP, their auditor until recently, had its attest business acquired by CB's. This means the same people doing the audit might just have a new company name. They had a bit of a back and forth with auditors, starting with MGO, then BF Borgers, then Markham, and now CB's. This kind of frequent change in auditors can sometimes be a red flag. It might suggest some issues with past audits or a desire to get a different opinion, but it could also just be a reflection of the company's restructuring. Then we get to Proposal 3, an advisory vote on executive compensation. This is where shareholders get to say if they think the company S top people are being paid fairly. It is a say on pay vote. The company states their philosophy is that executive pay should align with shareholder interests and avoid encouraging too much risk. They mentioned base salary, cash bonuses, and stock options as the main components. Let's look at the actual numbers here. For example, in 2025, Dr. Jacob Lalazari, as Chief Executive Officer, had a salary of $400,000. He also received a $30,000 bonus and stock options, which were valued at over $342,000. That is a pretty good chunk of change. Then we have the Chief Financial Officer, Robert Hoffman, who was appointed in May 2025. His salary was fixed at $450,000, and he received stock options valued at over $368,000. And Tyler Block, the Chief Legal Officer, had a salary of $365,000 with bonuses and stock options that pushed his total compensation to over $532,000 in 2025. Remember, these are just the reported values on paper. The actual money in their pockets from stock options can vary a lot depending on the company S stock performance. Proposal 4 is asking how often shareholders want to vote on executive pay every 1, 2, or 3 years. The board recommends holding this vote every year, and honestly, that seems pretty standard. It keeps the company accountable more often. Now, Proposal 5 is a big one. They want to increase the number of authorized shares of common stock from 1.75 billion to 2.25 billion. That is an increase of 500 million shares. Why do they want all these extra shares? They say it is for future financings to raise capital for employee stock awards, to pay off debts in stock instead of cash for strategic deals, and other corporate stuff. Essentially, they want flexibility to raise money or make deals using their stock. The filing mentions that as of the date of the statement, they had billions of shares outstanding and very few left in their authorized pool. This means they definitely need more authorized shares if they plan to issue any more stock. The downside of this is dilution. If they issue more shares, your existing shares will represent a smaller piece of the company. Proposal 6 is a bit of a safety net. If they do not get enough votes to approve that big share increase proposal, they want the option to adjourn the meeting to try and get more. Yes, votes, this is pretty common for important proposals that might be a close call. The report also mentions some minor issues with reporting filings. It states that all reporting persons complied with filing requirements, except for their new CFO, Robert Hoffman, who filed a couple of forms late. This is usually a small administrative issue, but it is good to note any slip-ups in transparency. When we look at who owns the company, it is mostly the directors and executive officers. Tanya Urbach, the board chair, owns over 2.1 million shares. Dr. Ndai Lavu owns over 2 million shares. And Stephen Symes owns over 1.7 million shares. These are significant holdings, especially considering the company's current market position. It means the people running the company have a lot of their own money invested. The compensation tables are pretty dense, but they do show a lot of stock options being granted. For example, Dr. Lalazari received stock options valued at over $340,000 in 2025. Now, let us put on our Warren Buffett hat and look at the bigger picture. CytoDyn is a company in the biopharmaceutical space, which is inherently risky but can have massive rewards if they get a drug approved. The fact that they are asking to increase authorized shares suggests they are planning for significant future financing or stock-based transactions, maybe to fund their lead drug candidate, lirenlimab. The company seems to be navigating a period of change with recent auditor changes and new executive hires. The stock ownership by insiders is a positive sign showing management's commitment. However, the frequent need for new auditors and the constant need for capital through share issuance can be concerning. It indicates they might be burning through cash quickly. The proposed increase in authorized shares to 2.25 billion, while giving them flexibility, also carries the risk of significant dilution for existing shareholders. If not managed properly, if they can secure funding and advance their drug pipeline successfully, that dilution could be worth it. But if they do not, existing shareholders could see their stakes significantly reduced in value. The upcoming shareholder meeting and these proposals, especially the share increase, are crucial for understanding the company's direction and how much control shareholders are willing to give up in exchange for potential future growth. It will be interesting to see how this plays out. So that is our deep dive into the CytoDyn Incorporated proxy statement. What do you think about these proposals and the company's strategy? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. If you found this breakdown helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more corporate insights. Also, remember to check out the Discord link in the description to join the conversation. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.